Russia sent spies to the Vatican, priests are being drafted in Switzerland, and Birkenstock goes full nun mode. All this and more brought to you today by Church Headlines. Welcome to Church Headlines, your regular Catholic news recap. I'm Brother Darius Lawrence. Let's dive right in. Russia has been sending spies to the Vatican. On July 7th, Italian authorities arrested 2 retired Italian intelligence officers accused of passing classified NATO and EU defense information to Russia's military intelligence service. But the detail that is drawing the most attention is an intercepted conversation from October 2025 in which one suspect says Moscow had instructed him to continue working with the Vatican, and mentions making an offering during Pope Francis's pontificate. Investigators have found no evidence that anyone at the Vatican knowingly participated, and it's still unknown what this Vatican assignment actually involved. But it makes sense that the Vatican is being targeted because the Holy See has remained one of the few institutions able to speak with both Moscow and Kyiv, making it a valuable intelligence target. Priests in Switzerland are being drafted into military service. Since June 1st, Switzerland has ended the automatic exemption for priests, monks, and religious from compulsory military service, and 9 members of the clergy have already been called. Swiss men typically owe around 8 months in the military between the ages of 18 and 30, and priests used to be excused because they were considered essential to civilian life. But with religious disaffiliation rising sharply in Switzerland, officials argue that priestly ministry can no longer be treated as automatically essential in the way it once was. Nevertheless, Switzerland still has around 2.7 million Catholics that are served by only 1,800 priests. So even a modest number being called up will be felt in the Catholic communities. Birkenstock just went full nun mode. The famous sandal company posted an animated video on Instagram on July 11th, featuring a cheerful cartoon nun who, mid-hopscotch, lifts her habit just enough to reveal she's wearing Birkenstocks. And Catholic social media instantly ran with it. The campaign was inspired by a 1980s Birkenstock newspaper ad that featured real nuns walking together under the tagline, "Get into the habit." And here's the thing, this isn't just a joke landing on the internet by accident. Priests, monks, and religious sisters really do wear Birkenstocks constantly, prized for being durable, modest, and comfortable for people who spend all day on their feet doing apostolic work. Amnesty International recently attacked the church and then deleted it. On July 8th, Amnesty UK briefly published a report naming 117 organizations as part of an alleged anti-rights movement, including the Catholic Bishops' Conference of England and Wales, the Catholic Herald, and numerous crisis pregnancy centers. The report framed these groups' pro-life and pro-family advocacy as a threat to human rights. One specific detail led to a lot of raised eyebrows. Not a single Islamic organization made Amnesty's list, despite the fact that traditional Islamic teaching on gender and sexuality diverges just as sharply from LGBT+ activism as Catholic teaching does. Pope Leo XIV just approved another bishop in China. Father Joseph Chang Yang-feng was ordained on July 22nd as the new bishop of Chifeng in Inner Mongolia. This is significant because it's another step forward under the provisional agreement between the Holy See and Beijing on episcopal appointments. The actual text of the agreement is a secret, but under the agreement's known terms, the Pope retains final say over who becomes a bishop in China and can reject candidates Beijing proposes. But in exchange, the Holy See has agreed not to make appointments without first getting the Chinese government's sign-off. This latest appointment suggests the working relationship, imperfect as it is continued to move forward under the new pontificate. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, please hit the like and subscribe button. As a thank you, here's a picture of a Dormouse. France just banned social media for minors under 15. Pope Leo had recommended putting age limits on social media in his first encyclical Magnificat Humanitas, and now France joins Canada and Australia in setting up these limits. The law also bans mobile phones in high schools, building on an existing ban already in place for younger grades. France isn't alone in moving in this direction. Spain, Denmark, and Greece have all signaled plans to pursue similar restrictions. A Catholic just became UK Prime Minister for the first time ever. Andy Burnham, the former mayor of Greater Manchester, was appointed Prime Minister following the resignation of Sir Keir Starmer, becoming the first British Prime Minister who openly identifies as a lifelong Catholic. This is genuinely historic for a country whose constitutional identity has been tied to the Anglican Church since the Reformation. But Burnham's Catholicism is a complicated story since he supports abortion, same-sex marriage, and assisted suicide, all positions that directly conflict with Catholic teaching. However, his appointment still marks a real shift in a country where it was once illegal for Catholics to hold this office at all. And that wraps up this week's edition of Church Headlines. Thank you for joining us, and God bless.